What's going on, guys? This is the review of the Nano X4s. So we're going to talk about the design of the shoe first before we go into the performance side of the shoe. So as the Nano X4s, you can see the front of the foot has a flex weave technology from Reebok that makes up most of its toe box. And as you make your way to the midfoot of the shoe, it has a kind of different material in it that I hear is from like previous models. I haven't seen the previous model of this so far, so I don't know, but they are claiming that this part of the shoe helps the shoe be more breathable and more flexible when you're wearing it all day. And I gotta say, it was very breathable. I usually don't get my feet get hot in the shoe, but I can say that I would train like 3 to 4 hours a day in this shoe, and I also would work in this shoe as in like coach after or between sessions. So I definitely felt that this shoe was very comfortable, as in not overheating. When it comes to the heel part of the shoe, it is on the more cushion side of it and the tongue as well. And I appreciate that the tongue is more on the cushion side, because I'm not a fan of shoes having like a paper thin or like a sharp tongue, because every time you're running in it or training in it, you could kind of feel it cut your heel or your ankles. So I'm really happy that it's like that, and I didn't feel anything bad about it. When it comes to the heel part, it is on the more cushiony side of it. However, I do feel like this material may be like more prone to heel slippage, which I definitely felt that in a lot of movements in the shoe, but we'll talk about that more after this part right here. When it comes to the heel part where you see the Nano branding on it, it has a heel clip for more of your handstand push-ups, that if you're going upside down on the wall, it helps you slide up and down easy. And I definitely didn't feel like I would catch the wall on anything, even though the Nano branding is kind of on the 3D side of it. And this TPU goes around the shoe to the side here and to the other side as well. Then as we get more of the midsole, it has more of the rubber and the heel for the hard heel for lifting, and it's a little kind of protrudes out. And then as the midsole goes on, it has more of a rubber, so that when you're doing rope climbs, you can catch the rope. It even says Rope Pro right here, and it goes around and around and around to the whole shoe, except for the toe area where that's not the rubber outsole. And then as we get to the bottom of the shoe, the outsole of the shoe, it has a harebone outsole here and a pattern, and it's all rubber outsole. And as you can see, here's the logo in the bottom of the heel. So most specifically of this shoe that I kind of can feel is that it has a lift and run system built into the shoe. So it's a system that allows you to be able to be flexible enough to run in, and then also have a hard kind of heel slash area to lift in. And we'll talk about that more in the performance side. Now moving on to more of the performance side for the shoe, we're gonna start with the squatting and deadlifting. So I definitely felt like when it comes to squatting, that these shoes were very comfortable enough to squat in. When it comes to your heel, feeling connected to the ground, and I didn't feel like my heel would come up every time I would go up or down in the squat position. And I definitely felt that these shoes were stable enough so my foot doesn't go side to side when I'm squatting. When it comes to deadlifting, I definitely felt like the shoe was flat enough and you can still feel your heels connected to the ground. Sometimes when you have too much of a big heel, you don't feel like you can really press your heels into the ground. But in this shoe, I definitely could do that. So I ran a mile in these shoes, a mile and a half to be exact, and I was pleasantly surprised how comfortable it was. Honestly, the worst thing about running in these was the heel slippage. Every stride I got, I really felt that it was coming out, my heel was coming out all the time. But it was very responsive in the toe area where the Fluoride Energy technology is in them. And if you don't know the Fluoride Energy for this shoe, The Flow Ride in general is their type of technology in their running shoes that helps it, be more responsive and cushioned enough to feel comfortable when you run. So I definitely can feel it in this shoe in running and in other aspects. When it comes more to the specific lifting of snatches and clean and jerks, I definitely felt that the Nano X4s was very comfortable to do both movements, even in a power snatch and a power clean and jerk, or a squat snatch or clean and jerk. I definitely felt that this was very sturdy in all the receiving positions. So when you catch a snatch or you catch a clean and jerk, some shoes tend to lean side to side, or you catch on your toes more, or you just feel unstable. But definitely every time I would catch these lifts, I felt very sturdy and connected to the ground. So the big theme about these shoes is that you can feel your foot, even though, and it's not like a barefoot shoe type of thing, but you can feel that the heel on this shoe is very sturdy and enough to lift in, and also flexible enough for you to wear comfortably. And that's a big plus for me when it comes to CrossFit shoes in general. When it comes to plyometric movements and jumping movements, I'm going to say this shoe was very comfortable, and surprisingly, you don't really feel that heel slippage when it comes to box jumps. But I will say that I felt the heel slippage when it comes to jump roping. So I did a workout with double unders and thrusters. The double unders were smooth, but the heel slip kept happening a lot, and I can feel it. And for me, a heel slip is majority of the reason why I never really buy Nanos, is because sometimes it's just too much and I can't handle it. But I will say that this heel slippage for me is not as bad as previous models. So even though I do feel it, I can say that I have gotten used to it and it doesn't really bother me as much anymore, but I can still feel it. When it comes to So guys, if you can see, my mic turned off, and if it looks a little darker in the video, it's because it's nighttime now. I was editing and I just noticed that the video's cut off because my mic died. So anyway, to finish off what I was saying, is just this shoe is a good shoe to do plyometric movements such as jump roping, box jumps, burpees, and things like that. The one test that I did with rope climbs did come out with a certain flaw that I did not like, which was coming down from a rope climb. So the good part was, when you catch yourself on the rope climbing up, the side of the panel here that catches the rope did really well. It really caught the rope and it was sticky enough for me to climb up without the shoe sliding down. I feel like a lot of shoes tend to slide down as you climb up when you climb a rope, but this shoe did not. Now on the way down, it did disappoint because I had to put a lot of effort into coming down on the rope, and the shoe kind of slid to the side a lot. Now a lot of shoes do slide to the side, so that's not uncommon, but I did not like that I had to put effort into it. Now I am used to rope climbing with the Metcon 9s a lot as my choice for when the workout calls for rope climbs, but I will say that that shoe is a 10 out of 10, while most shoes are on the 7 to 6 range when it comes to rope climbs. So I'm going to give this one an A for effort, but it was a disappointment when it coming down on the rope, but great going up. Overall, guys, the Nano X4s are a really good shoe, and I think they are the best Nano shoes they've made in a long time. I honestly, don't usually buy Nanos, or if I have, I usually give it away because it's just not been that great of a shoe. But this shoe, to my surprise, has been an all-around good shoe. And asked to do a movement or a lift or something, that it has come in the clutch, and I definitely think this is the best shoe they've made in a long time. You guys can grab this at Reebok.com or at the local stores at Reebok, and they go for $150. If you're looking for a CrossFit shoe, this is a good option. If you're looking for a shoe just to do basic fitness in, it might be cheaper prices. $150 is pretty steep, but if you're looking for a shoe to do CrossFit in, I definitely would recommend the Nano X4s.